Good morning all. So we are continuing Surah 28 verse 60, right? So like I say, we are picking out certain verses from the Quran to elaborate on it, to give the true meaning, the true interpretation of it, right? And to help people to come to a better understanding of life, right? So this is Surah 28 verse 60. And whatever thing you, meaning people, have been given, it is only for the enjoyment of the worldly life and its adornment. And what is with Allah is better and more lasting. So will you not use reason, right? And whatever you people have been given, it is only for the enjoyment of worldly life and its adornment. And what is with Allah is better and more lasting. So will you not use reason, right? So remember this few verses we're focusing on is about contentment and detachment, right? Contentment and detachment, right? Meaning that you do what you can to change the world, right? One person can't change the world, right? You do what you can to change the world and let the outcome be, right? So you can't do more than you could do, right? You cannot do more than you could do, right? So you do what you need to do and let the outcome rest with itself. Let the outcome be its outcome, right? So this verse is basically focusing on, right? Focusing on living, right? Living instead of focusing on people when they die, right? So you focus on providing for people, helping people whilst they are alive, right? Whatever you people have been given, right? It is for the enjoyment of worldly life, meaning when you are on earth, right? And its adornment, right? So use reason. So it is talking about, now you can't talk about life without talking about death, right? Because they are both two sides of the same coin, right? So what the Allah is trying to point, Allah is trying to make to people, right, is that you assist people and use your financial resources, material resources on people whilst they are alive, right? So you do not, when people dead, you don't have regrets, and you don't want to put a million roses in the boxes, right? Or you don't want to think that your son is giving them a grand send off, right? Some people funerals look better than their weddings, right? Some people funerals look better than their weddings, and something is tremendously wrong with that, right? Something is tremendously wrong with that, right? I am not a fan of grand weddings either, right? In fact, I really do like weddings, right? But I don't like these grand send-offs and deaths either, right? When you die, the process of dying is teaching you to detach, right? Detachment. When you place all these lovely, buy expensive perfumes and spray it on your loved ones when they pass, and put a million roses on their boxes and a million garlands on their boxes and dress them up in a sari or garara, right? Or the bridal wear for men, right? I can't remember what it's called, right? But when you dress people and send them off in these kind of outfits and these things, right? The energy remains a bit longer, right? Than if you just dispose of the body ASAP in the simplest of ways, right? So that the consciousness, right, that is supposed to leave that body, right, it remains because you are still attaching yourself to that body, right, or to the things that person like when that person die, right? The things that they like, whether it's the pretty garara, the whatever nice favorite cologne, favorite perfumes, right, the favorite flowers, all these things leave with them, right? It leaves, right? Is no longer a part of you, and is no longer a part of and that has left because that person has left, right? So we are trying to get people to utilize reason in the conduct of funerals, right? Utilize reason both in the conduct of weddings and funerals, in fact, right? Meaning that you try to utilize whatever material resources you have to assist people while they are alive and not use it for selfish reasons, right? You want to put a million flowers or garlands, right, in the box when somebody die, right? Because it make you feel better. Hey, I am doing this. So it's an egoistical thing now. I am doing what I could to send off this soul or this person in the grandest of ways, right? I am doing this, right? So it becomes an egoistical thing, and funerals now have become like for the longest while. Actually, I've been watching this since I'm young, right? Since I growing up small, I've been watching this. Funerals is like a grand show, right? A show off, right? In fact, funeral homes compete with each other now, right? So it's like a grand show, right? You have to send off who could send off their loved one in the grandest of ways, right? So everything is like a show, and not to mention a fashion statement, right? I don't like these things, right? Funerals is like a fashion statement now. You have to dress up the best of the best, right? To go to that funeral, you look at better than if you go into work in Port of Spain or something, right? You have to dress up the best of the best to go to a funeral. So this is what we're trying to get at, to simplify life a little bit, to come to a better understanding of what Allah is, who Allah is, what reality is, what life is, what death is, right? So we are trying to get back to a lifestyle simpler lifestyle, right? So this is what this thing is about, helping people using those resources, because a lot of money that's be spent, right, is not, a funeral is not cheap, right? A funeral is not cheap, right? A lot of the way that people do funerals is not cheap, right? And that money could be used in other ways. Honestly, personally, if I die, I would rather all our resources, if it's $20,000 people used to spend on a funeral, 10,000 even. I don't even want $10,000 spent on me when I die, right? I don't really care for them things, because you're dead, you're gone, right? So people just be like, oh, well, what the person want. You asking a person what they want when they die. When they die, they die. You do what is the simplest, easiest thing for you to do. The conduct of a funeral in the easiest and simplest ways, right? And in the way that will give your heart peace, because that person has already exited life, right? That person has already exited life, right? And there's no need to study, oh, this person is still like this, so I could put this in their person box, and that person is still like this is favorite person, this, right? Otherwise, why we don't put your whole house, car, land, everything in the box? You're not going with these things, right? You are not going with these things, right? So it is about utilizing what you've been given to help people while they are alive, right? Because when you leave, you are only carrying your deeds with you, right? So this is I don't like the word warning really, but it is a message, right? It is a message to people to look into other ways of how people and other cultures conduct funeral services and so on, right? And see what you could actually learn, right, from these processes. A funeral doesn't need to be grand. In fact, a funeral should not be grand, right? Because it is the process of you taking steps towards you yourself, and understanding that you yourself are mortal and you yourself will one day exit this earth, right? So have a blessed day, everybody.